All right, evening, everybody. Welcome to Inland Town Ledyard Inland Wetland Watercourses meeting, regular meeting here of February 1st, 2022. Start meeting time 7:01. Secretary, please call roll.
I'm sorry, why don't we just have everybody go around and say who's here? Yeah. We don't have everybody's names here, so.
Oh, all right.
Good evening, Teamville.
All right. Here's Daniel Peeler. Brooke. Beth.
Beth Repeat here.
Yeah. Mr. Mogul. Should I call your name for roll, Mr. Mogul?
Yeah.
All right. I can see you talking, but I cannot hear you.
You're on mute.
Or try turning up your volume on your computer.
We have Mr. Mogul present. When his volume hasn't worked in the past, he's been good with the comment section, the typed comments. All right.
Anybody absent?
Yes, Corey Ledyard is absent.
Walker.
Wetland, absent.
All right, we do have a quorum here between Mr. Mogul, Mr. Peeler, and myself. So with who else is our regular member that we don't have here?
Yeah, isn't she?
Yeah, but that's here. She's regular.
Beth Repeat
Yes,
is
that's here.
three
Right,
zone.
Ms. Thompson, she's not here.
No,
I'm here.
didn't hear from her. Is she there?
No, that was Beth.
Oh,
Okay. All right, so moving on from there, let's just move to the public comment section. If any member from the public, either on Zoom or here in person, would like to stand up, state your name and address. Hearing none, I'm showing Ms. Thompson here signing in. Ms. Thompson, good evening.
she's muted.
All right, you just show that she's logged in time 702.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, start here with old business. We have a complaint from the last couple meetings at 27 Pheasant Run Drive, Gales Ferry, for alleged unpermitted activity in violation of our regulations, with the owner being Jennifer and Thomas Hepburn. So from that, the neighbor, he said he was going to clean up his property the next day after our last meeting.
Did Corey get a chance to go out there?
I got followed from, I didn't think to ask him last month.
We found out that we've been asked to find out who owned the property or who managed the property that was right behind it,
Yeah,
that property, so it's the, put it down for it. Look at the name of it. It is the homeowners association,
Yeah. definitely.
Pheasant Run. So Pheasant Run Homeowners Association, and the gentleman who's the president is Jack Howie, and he lives on 28 Pheasant Run Drive, so I suppose he could be contacted to,
yeah. As we just write a similar letter as we did to the other neighbor.
right,
Address it to homeowners association and the president. They could get it cleaned up.
right, do you want me to draft a letter for you to sign then, because I can't.
Yeah, would you
send
mind?
one.
Mirror the last one we wrote pretty much. I'll follow up with that again next meeting. I get in touch with Corey, see if he can go out and inspect it once. We have confirmed that they received the letter.
Probably have to speak up so they can hear you.
Right.
Because I can barely hear you.
Sorry. Like I said, so just asking for all of you on the phone call, write a similar letter as we did to the neighbors on Pheasant Run Drive, addressed to the homeowners association and their president to clean up the property that's on their part of the land. That would have been the portion with some of the trees and the cinder blocks that we saw. Mr. Wofford,
Okay, just a minute.
Yes, sir.
were you able to go take a look at Pheasant Run Drive and see if the gentleman had cleaned up his property?
He did clean up his property. The only thing is we still can't figure out the property lines of where the stuff is.
So we just spoke to that the portion he cleaned up what he claimed was his identified what was left was belongs to the homeowners association out there on Pheasant Run.
Yes, behind the stone wall is association, and in the front of it is, he cleaned up his whole area.
Take care, thank you. So we're doing, because you're signing a little bit late, we're gonna have a letter sent to the homeowners association addressed to their president, asking them to clean up the property, same as we did for the previous neighbor. And I'll get in touch with you once that's done, ask you if you can go take a look and see how they're doing getting that cleaned up prior to our next meeting.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anyone feel anything more to discuss on that point, on old business, first item? All right, moving on, yeah. Application submitted accepted for our last meeting, 21-19 for 125 Wellhead Road, lot number 4 in Gales Ferry, Connecticut. For an open review permit to replace an existing mobile home with a new HUD mobile home on a new concrete pad, 15 by 67, replacing steps, constructing a deck, and removing the oil tank, replacing it with propane. Mr. Cohen?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commission. Nothing has changed. I assume we all have the same map that we're looking at. Oops, I'm sorry about that. Where we I highlighted the shaded area where it was. Where the old home was.
Mark. So just 1 second, let's pull this up so we can-
Where do I need to stand?
Go ahead. She has the map up on the screen if you don't mind.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
We're all getting used to the new system.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. So up here is this particular, the inside line down here is the existing home that's there, and the existing carports and covered carport on both sides. And that is the larger version of down here, right here. And again, I think it's 61 feet is the nearest point to Wetlands in the 100-foot upland review area. We're gonna eliminate the 2 overhangs, put a side steps here and side steps here. And then the concrete pad will be 6 inches, 5.5 to 6 inches, for hurricane tie downs for the home, a HUD code home. Other than that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you have.
We didn't receive any requests for a public hearing or any appeals.
Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns for Mr. Cohen? This is your third time here talking to us about it.
What's that?
This is your third time here talking to us about it.
Oh.
All right, so if we have no additional questions, comments, concerns,
The masks in my hearing are the
I
worst.
apologize. Just looking for anyone that has any questions, comments, or concerns for you. I'm hearing none. So what I do is ask for a commission member here to make a motion to approve or disapprove the application. Sorry, Mr.
I make-
Mogul, who's removing the tank?
I'm sorry?
Mr. Mogul, he's asking who's removing the tank?
Oh, God, I'm terrible.
Who's removing the tank?
The trailer?
The
Tank.
Oh, the tank? We'll probably take it to service station. The Martin McKinney out of Montville, the tank,
He's getting.
because we have to have it pumped out and have to get a certification where it goes.
All right, thank you. All right, yes, it is good. They're the best.
Okay.
Motion would be. Motion to approve, application 21-19.
Okay,
as submitted.
I move to approve application 21-19 as submitted.
All right, so a motion by Mr. Peeler, second by Mr. Mogul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Before you go and before you take this down,
Thank you.
Since you're
Yeah,
here.
no.
So there's an application that did come in that it talks about a one lot re-subdivision that happens to be right here. It's not coming before you because nothing is being proposed within the 100-foot buffer at all, you know.
Right.
The house would be up here, and the septic system is here, so
You're just a zoning application, you're referring?
this is a re-sub so far, but I didn't feel like it had to come before you here either, but if that's something you think you need to see. It's essentially that, but there's a house up here,
I mean,
house.
if
septic
it's
system.
not in the upland review area, it's not
There's
something that
nothing
really
within-
concerns this board, so.
So I just wanted you to be aware that was the online report. I mentioned that application, but it's none of the proposed structures for the future site plan are
Yep.
within the upland.
All right, appreciate that, thank you.
Okay.
All right, all were in favor, motion passes.
Thank you very much. for
Thank you, Mr. Cullen.
everything. Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Appreciate it.
bad at remembering motions.
That's all right, we're all here to help each other out. All right, moving on, we have one item of new business tonight. It's for 150 Gallup Hill Road, the owner is David Flodgett. He lives on 7 Fargo Drive, also in Ledyard. He's asking our permission for a letter regarding the disturbance of conservation areas or wetlands on his parcel, as requested by the Department of Health in regard to a well exception request. Would you like to introduce one a little bit more?
All right, so this is, since I actually started here, whatever that was, July. This has come up several times. So this gentleman has been going back and forth with the WPCA and Department of Health, really more between the WPCA and Broad Utilities and whatnot, trying to get a well exception for this particular lot. So the backstory is a subdivision was approved. I don't even know the year it was approved, but some time ago now. And it showed the 3 of the lots being serviced by public water, 3 or 4 of them, from the water main on Gallup Hill Road. And there's a regulation that says if your property line is within 200 feet of a water main, you have to connect. So 2 of the, and there was 1 existing lot that already had a well. So it showed a shared driveway and there was supposed to be the water mains that went along the driveway, and they talk about an easement. But the deeds mention that they have a right to install utilities, but they don't describe an easement area, and the map does not have a hash mark like easement. So they didn't do that correctly, first of all. And then the second thing that occurred is one of the lots in that same subdivision developed and just put in a well. Nobody seemed to notice or say anything. We don't know how that happened, but they got to put in a well. So this gentleman's lot is way off the road. So its parcel line, hits Gallup Hill, but where the house is 1,000 feet away. So the problem is that the driveway, when it was approved, when the subdivision was approved, was a gravel driveway, and it was envisioned you'd put in the line and then pave it and everything would be set. Well, if that didn't happen, they paved the driveway, it crosses the wetlands. And it's further complicated by the fact that the wetlands that are on the property are the designated open space for that subdivision, and part of the deal was they have to have a conservation easement placed on them, so you can't touch them. So conservation easement means they have to remain in their natural state, and you're not supposed to do anything there. So an idea was floated that that this gentleman not go up the driveway and come up his own like access strip, like the flag of the flag lot, then it would have to cross right over those wetlands. So they've gone back and forth. Sorry, I'm gonna start talking if I have to talk. Stop COVID. And Department of Health, I think, is willing to entertain this notion, but they wanted a letter from you guys stating that it would be a great idea to cross over those wetlands with a conservation easement on it. So I drafted a letter for you to consider. You can discuss, I can't.
Yep, no, I got you. Yep, so she's saying that they are asking for a letter here to help support his ask of our public health.
Right. And it
So,
should be
and that's-
noted that 170 Gallup Hill Road, which is just on the other side, same predicament, or same scenario, they granted the well exception.
Right.
No discussion like this, so it's really unfair if he doesn't get it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that drafting this letter in his favor is well within our interest. It's not crossing the wetlands, which currently do have an easement assigned to them. So again, I think it's crossing like 80 feet of wetlands.
Yeah, you'd really have to, I don't know what they would do. They'd have to dig up the driveway if they went that route, and if they didn't go that route, they'd have to directly traverse quite an 80-foot span of the wetlands plus all the
Yeah.
upland view on either side.
Either way, we're disturbing a significant amount of wetlands to do this. So he doesn't have to put in a well. So just read for you guys here a draft of the letter. You can see how we're gonna. We all agreed to send this letter.
I don't know if I gave Dan.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I'm not finding it. So
All right, I'm gonna take my mask off just to read this.
It's not in the online packet either.
I just finished.
No, this is a draft. If you guys have anything else you feel needs to be said or altered, let me know, and then following the meeting. Like, this isn't gonna require a motion or anything. So we just agree that this, send them the letter. And I'll sign it for the commission next week. So it goes, dear Mr. Piccioni, after reviewing the approved subdivision plan and the proposed site plan review for a new single-family house at 150 Gallup Hill Road, with staff, the commission agrees that the disturbance to the wetlands at the existing crossing and further disturbance throughout the upland review areas that would be caused by the installation of the water line, whether or not the paved driveway is dug up or the line installed along the edge of the pavement, is less desirable than approval of an exception allowing a well. We provide the following to support this opinion. The subdivision plan was originally approved for community water from the main on Gallup Hill Road. The deeds indicate that the parcel was conveyed subject to and together with the right to install and maintain utilities per paragraph 5 of the general notes on the approved subdivision plan. Plans do not show a formal easement area. They just show a water line running along the edge of the existing driveway, which was gravel at the time. Driveway was approved as a shared driveway branching off to provide access to 142, 148, and 150 Gallup Hill Road. And the plan indicated that it was to be widened to 15 feet and paved per zoning regulations. There is no formal easement area designated on the plan or described in the deeds. Subsequently, an improved wetlands crossing was established. The driveway was paved and a new home was built at 142 with a drilled well despite the subdivision plan calling for connection to water main on Gallup Hill Road. It's my understanding that the water main had been installed along Gallup Hill Road at the time the subdivision was approved. No utilities were installed at the time the shared driveway was paved. Without additional 2 water line branches for 142 and 148, the disturbance of the paved driveway and the 2 15-inch CMPs at the wetland crossing would not be justified for a water line to supply 150 Gallup Hill Road. 3 houses planned for the water line connection had been built at the same time, or if the water line was actually installed along the shared driveway when the crossing was improved and the driveway paved, then the approved plan would make sense and seem reasonable. At this time, however, the least disruptive action to the environment and wetlands is to authorize the exception for the well. It should also be noted that the wetlands that would be disturbed are subject to conservation easements, which are recorded in the town clerk's office. It's also provided for in the packet if you all had the opportunity to read that. The areas subject to this conservation easement are to remain in their natural state and not to be disturbed. Another option discussed was to bring the water line up to the 20-foot access strip or flagpole portion of 150 Gallup Hill Road, which is not approved for the actual access point due to the presence of wetlands. The shared driveway was to be used instead. This route is also less desirable. A water line along this path would be required to cross 80 feet of wetlands that are subject to a conservation easement and run through almost 300 feet of upland review area. It should be further noted that the area the pipe would be required to traverse has little to no slope, which would expand the impact of this disturbance. Hope you'll consider approving Mr. Blodgett's application for a well exception for 150 Gallup Hill Road. So that's the letter summing up this discussion here from Ms. Hodges. Anybody have questions, comments, concerns, looking for some more information? Mr. Mogul says, well on site is better than a water line. Agree with the letter as conservation easement is hold on a second. Still in place. Agree with the well exception. Thank you, Mr. Mogul.
Myself, I've walked past this property many times myself, and there's large stretches of property along Gallup Hill that I would definitely describe as swamp during large portions of the year. I would agree with the easement, so.
So does,
I would agree, Justin, also.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson.
I would agree also, Justin.
Thank you.
does having the easement mean that a future application is not required, or will 150 Gallup Hill Road need to submit a future application?
When he goes to construct the well, if it's within the upland review area or if it's gonna be in wetlands, it is more of a general point here. Yeah, he would have to make an application with site plans to do the construction.
Okay.
So this right now, Department of Public Health is saying they don't want him to put a well in because he's within 200 feet
Property
of-
is within 200
Yeah.
feet, houses.
so property lines within 200 feet of a public water main.
Okay.
So they asked in the back and forth, which you can find in your packet there.
Yeah.
A lot of emails. One of the things they asked for to make the exception is a letter from the Wetlands Commission us supporting that we should have a well.
Understood. Thank you.
Seeing no more discussion.
Sign,
I will sign that. Do you want to sign this copy or just come back and, is there another?
yeah, if there's no edits, you can sign them.
That's what I will
Do
do.
you have the color one, right?
Yes. Well, it says draft on it, so there'll be another.
Oh, I have one.
Okay. Moving along. Wetlands official report. Yeah. Would you like to read from your report? Boston, my sea of paperwork here.
Yeah, it's not very exciting, I'm afraid. We didn't have, no new upland review applications, followed up on that complaint, and then all of the zoning permits that came in were, there were no wetlands on the property to speak of at all. And then two of them, there was a tiny portion of wetlands at the very back of the property, nowhere near where the solar was gonna be mounted and nowhere near where the house on Abbey Road was gonna be located. Those wetlands are actually behind a stone wall in the back, so they're well away from it. And then the two resub applications are coming before P and Z. You will get a second chance to look at that 5 Lorenz. Once it gets through planning and zoning, the site plan will come back to you.
Is that for construction? Or-
Yeah, if it passes, if the subdivision passes planning and zoning, then it'll have to submit a site plan for construction.
Okay.
We did get 2 applications for the WEO position. Neither have any experience to speak of, but I'm not sure if we're gonna interview them, but at some point, we might have to just train somebody. And like I said to him, we're all gonna sit down and take the wetlands training course at this point, just because it's there and it's free and we might as well all know about it anyway. So at least the staff in the land use office, between Nancy, myself, and the intern, at least be a little farther along. And then whoever we hire can at least easily take that course, so that's good news. I think the mayor is looking into something with the COG for the zoning enforcement side of it, so I'm not. I might see if we can interview these 2 folks to see if I think that they could be groomed into the position, but that's all I have.
Any questions for Ms. Hodges?
Paul Mogul just posted that he'd like to take the online training. I don't know if you saw that comment.
I see it now. Thank you. My screen is very tiny. I
Yeah,
miss a lot.
it's free. It's up there on the DEEP site now, so you have to register and then you have 6 months to complete it after you register,
All year, I think.
or a year.
Actually, our next item on our agenda is correspondence, which actually regards the training here. So if you're looking through the agenda packet, there's an email that I believe went out to all of us also earlier. I think that has the link on it, how you can register for that training is through UConn. So you said I intend to take it.
Yeah.
Yes. For statutes, we should have somebody certified in wetlands, whether it be staff or on a commission.
Yeah, I mean, the staff person has to, whoever we hire will have to do
Yes.
that, but since we're all serving as the staff person, one of us needs to just do it.
Yeah, they recommended it for.
So,
Yeah. I say if any of us here on the commission actually do take it, I just ask you if you reply back to Ms. Woodlock here, let her know that you've taken it and you maybe forward your certificate, keep it on record.
yeah. Okay.
So if you could just keep track of that for us, good luck.
Sure will.
Thank you. All right, also not included in the packet, we had the Connecticut Federation of Planning and Zoning Agencies quarterly newsletter went out. Would ask, let's see, you scanned it. Could you email us to everyone on the commission, please? We have an opportunity to look it over. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to announcements. We do have a new alternate member here, Mr. Gary St. Bill. I just speak up, the camera will point on you. We put a face, or at least a pair of eyes.
Hello, hello.
All right, so welcome. Glad to have you here. It leaves us with one open spot of an alternate member here on our commission.
It's supposed to turn to look at you.
What? You look at me, doesn't like,
No, it doesn't seem to have turned to look at you, Gary.
That's okay. Well, Mr. St. Bill's not going anywhere. I'll have plenty of time to get to know him. All right, moving on.
We'll get him next meeting.
yeah.
So, minutes approval. So everyone's had the opportunity to look over our minutes from January 4th. Looking for any changes, modifications, anyone deems necessary. And if there are none, be looking for a motion to approve.
I so move.
Hold on. Just catching this now before. On pages
I'll
2 and
second
3
that.
Pages 2 and 3 at the heading says January 5th. Just make it say January 4th with the rest of the.
I didn't catch that. Okay.
I think Paul had texted in his second.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
So if you're looking to, you restate the motion as amended, so we make the.
You
all the
don't have
dates.
to use the typos.
Oh, we don't? All right. Then. So a motion by Mr. Pillar, second by Mr. Mogul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
All right, motion
Aye.
passes. Thank you. Minutes are approved. All right, move on to meeting review. Got to work on speaking volume.
Yeah.
The mask, get rid of the mask.
Yes.
Oh,
And I think just at the beginning, if we have a list for the roll calls, if you write off the roll, I think that just works a little bit smoother.
mhm.
We're trying to introduce ourselves. Any other comments from meeting review?
Never eaten.
Um, we should probably have a written wetlands official report that we can look over prior to the meeting. Even if it says no business or nothing, because the one I have says no business, nothing.
I did actually update the website just prior to the meeting with it. Since we don't really have that staff to write the report, I did it the best I could today.
Right.
But it was up there a couple hours ago.
I'd agree with Ms. Thompson, but understand our shortages
Yeah.
with
I
the
mean,
staffing also.
Staff had already left.
Right. Seeing nothing further for meeting review, our last item is adjournment. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Motion by Mr. Peeler,
I'll second that.
second by Ms. Reeby. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, all are in favor. Meeting adjourned time 7:30.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good job,
for-
guys. Nice work with the technology.
We're getting there.
Oh, wait, whoa.
Oh.
We have one other, just to
yes.
let you know, I'm gonna change it. On our meeting schedule, we had said we're gonna meet the second Tuesday due to election day, but election day is the second Tuesday, so we're just gonna meet on the regular November 1st day. Your regular meeting day is November 1st, which does not conflict with election day,
Okay.
so I'm just.
All right,
I'm just
because we
gonna-
did vote to approve this, can we just put that as an agenda item on next month to vote to approve the list?
Yeah.
I don't even. I don't even have to, but, okay.
It's best if we do.
You want to just,
We already adjourned the meeting.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Night.
No.